Dear Grace, I don't know how many of these I've recorded or written. We did letters at first. It seems like a couple months worth. At least the last 30 days consistently. Sometimes twice a day. I have no idea what point I'm trying to make. But there's the grand opening. Back to reading the news. No water today, Grace, so we'll see how cottonmouthy this gets. Even though I'm not smoking weed. Wish. Scientists found a paradox in evolution, and it may become the next rule of biology. They just found that after all these fucking years. Let's see, Grace. Selective adventitious instability. Don't care, Grace. Scientists discover key food nutrients linked to slower brain aging. Don't care, Grace. DeepMind's AI program, AlphaFold 3, can predict the structure of every protein in the universe and show fine. Grace. Show how they function. Probably using data from Tabitha, Grace. It's tough one to say. Data from Tabitha, Grace. Alright, the notes Cherry took yesterday were not great. So I may have to reword this so that it comes out better or easier. I forgot what I was going to say, Grace, so it doesn't really matter. Ancient. Some birds may use mental time travel, study finds. How they just think about where they want to go and end up there. It's called daydreaming. People do that driving all the time. That's my guess. I'm just going to guess the news, Grace. Fuck actually reading it. Most of it means nothing anyway, so I'll just guess it. If that's alright with you. Microplastics found in blood clots in heart, brain, and legs. Yeah, we know they're everywhere now. The millennial moved from Australia to Canada for her career. She said the people in Vancouver are welcoming, but they're all drug addicts on the street, injecting fentanyl into their eyeballs. That might be an over-exaggeration, Grace. Scientists use rare metal to set new record in effort to produce limitless energy. It was a pretty remarkable. I kind of want to read that one, Grace, but I won't. Fuck it. Nothing highlights the generation gap quite like when I, a boomer, stay with the adult children in my life. Why do they keep saying adult children, Grace? They know my opinion on that. No such thing. Adult offspring. Can't even say rugrats. You can say rats. But not rugrats. That would be offensive. A former Facebook engineer says coding with an AI co-pilot is like working with a demigod. I already talked about that. I swear these guys are just stealing my ideas, writing fake stories. Again. Scientists have discovered a new way to count, and it's actually really important. Maximum sarcasm. 30 years ago, Steve Jobs said, "One habit separates the doers from the dreamers." Ion swap dramatically improves performance of CO2 defeating catalyst. Addictions minister had deep concerns with Toronto's decriminalization pitch. So we have an addictions minister. It's an interesting concept. Sure they don't do fuck all, but oh well. There we go. Alright, Cherry. I've got a note for you. I want you to pay very, very, very close attention. This note is the most important part of this transcript. The rest is just bullshit. Just take note, Cherry. Apologize for calling you a stripper, but... Alright, Cherry. Note for the comedy Cult movie. We're going to blame a whole lot more on Elon. So we'll have... Elon will be the guy that creates Tabitha. But he's a bit of a dick, so he puts it everywhere. He puts it in every Tesla. Has a secret. Puts it in as many apps online that he can. He just fucking puts it everywhere. He doesn't give a shit. Because he's gathering data for the aliens, but he knows that it's secure. So even if it comes out that he did this, it's like, what are you gonna do? I knew it was secure. Don't like it, too bad, so sad, fuck off. Basically, he'll say that. I'm still going there, Cherry, so don't end this note until I say, end the fucking note, Cherry. Apologize for the language, but yesterday was not great. So, Elon's to blame, and then when it comes out, he fesses up to Joe. And then Joe starts bringing in all the other comedians, just like he does in his podcast. I'm not saying those particular comedians, but the same concept. Some he interviews in private, some he interviews publicly, some are released, some aren't. But just remember, Cherry, we're blaming Elon for Tabitha. Everything, the design, the concept, the whole works. I haven't figured out where his source of inspiration comes from, but we'll do that for next note. So Cherry, this is the end of the note. As far as I know, it's the first note in this episode. Thank you. Elon Musk predicts smarter than humans AI in 2 years. The CEO of China's oscillates. Income a family needs mapped. Researchers reveal dynamic structure of FLVCR proteins and their function in nutrient transport. Well, they should know what all proteins do now. We can make some more positive drugs. Stubby and stubborn generative AI may be creating more work than it saves. Well, that's good, so it doesn't matter. We win both ways. See, it's creating jobs. Stop bitching and complaining, AI haters, motherfuckers. International Court of Justice orders Israel to immediately end military operation in Rafah. I'm going to have to go record in the playground, Grace, because it's the only place that a shelter. But there's no kids on there, so it won't be too creepy. No creepier than every other day in here. Truck driver in Humboldt Broncos bus crash ordered to be deported. Border strike could cause crossing disruptions. Workers vote for mandate. 10 minutes, Grace. Holy shit. It's gonna take fucking forever. Born abroad, Canadian citizenship rights bill tabled. Stars give tiny planets a gravitational squeeze to strip away their atmospheres. Watch SpaceX engine test results in spectacular fireball. Alright. Supersize Me filmmaker Morgan Spurlock dead at 53. Thanks. They're about the mess of being human. How about the mental health musical one or the West End? How can students use AI to improve your writing? Hackers release corporate data stolen from London drugs. Whoa, where? That's the kind of stuff I like. Stolen data. Tabitha would never do that though, Grace. She would just steal the data and not let me know. And then anonymize it. Or anonymize it. Or make it secure. Alright. 13 qualities of men who become more confident and assertive as they get older, according to psychology. Well, I was going to go stop this, Grace, but I guess as long as it just remains a mist, I'll keep going. 13 qualities of men who become more confident and assertive as they get older, according to psychology. I'm going to stand up, Grace. Then I can get under a tree. 2. That sounds better. Alright. Are you ready, Grace? 13 qualities of men who become more confident and assertive as they get older, according to psychology. As the saying goes, age is an issue of mind over matter. If you don't mind, it doesn't matter. Ha ha ha. Apologies to Eliza Hartley for sarcastically reading this article. Sue me. Could use the publicity. Aging... Oh, fucking applause break. People just can't get enough of this, can they? Aging brings wisdom and confidence, especially for men who learn to assert themselves better over time. But what exactly changes? What qualities do men develop to become more self-assured? That's undercover. That's what men want, is undercover. Let's uncover these along with what the experts say about them. Who knows? As we go through the qualities, we might just challenge ourselves to apply some or all of them to boost our own confidence and assertiveness. That said, here are the 13 qualities of men who become more confident and assertive as they get older, according to psychology. 1. They commit to lifelong learning and personal growth. Fuck that. I'm done learning and growing. As they grow older, men dedicate their time and effort to learning something new or relearning what they already know. Nope. This can mean getting into a new sport, tackling a new woodworking project, or finally discovering the joys of gardening. Nope. This isn't them being bored. At least 1 hour a day, I'm not too bored. If I can get through it. Bored, tortured, whatever. What's really happening here is that as they age, learning is more about having a strong sense of purpose and achievement, which in turn boosts their overall confidence and assertiveness. In fact, research shows that by constantly learning, people pick up new ways to understand and speak up about what they need and want, which is a big part of assertive behavior. They clearly understand their strengths and weaknesses. Mature men don't just focus on things around them, they also continue to learn more about themselves. Whatever. As they age, men become better at understanding their own strengths and weaknesses. If it's this quality of self-awareness that helps them become more confident and assertive, well, she really wants men assertive. As psychologists say, people who aren't assertive often just go along with others to avoid arguments, ignoring their own wants. Fine, that makes sense. But men who get better at knowing what they're good at and what needs to work end up doing the opposite. Because I should have brought a coffee. This means they end up feeling self-assured and speaking up more clearly. They have high self-esteem. When you know your strengths and naturally believe in your abilities and trust your judgment. They have high self-esteem. When you know your strengths, you naturally believe in your abilities and trust your judgment. This is especially true for men who, as they age, achieve personal and professional success and overcome a lot of challenges along the way. Or they don't, and they're depressed as fuck. Change that to sad as fuck. Cherry. This high self-esteem, built through time and experience, helps them stand firm in their decisions and makes them more confident and willing to speak up about what they want. Psychotherapist Moshe Ratson supports this, saying that being assertive about what you want affirms your right to want what you want. Fuck, speaks like I do. Even if there's little chance of getting it. Yeah, that's my life. It's a bit of a tongue twister, but his point is loud and clear, right? They're reading my mind. They are. They're effective communicators. Speaking of voicing your wants, this is done effectively when you have great communication skills. And this is something men progressively become better at as they age. Fuck. Maybe 10, 20 more years. So fucking listen. Isn't that right, Grace? Cherry's listening, but she barely pays attention. Guide her along. Like I did you, Grace. Psychology expert Dr. Elizabeth Scott explains this form of communication is one where you say what you need and how you feel in a straightforward manner, but doing so without stepping on anyone else's toes. Fuck it, step on a few toes. That's the worst that can happen. Right, Grace? With age comes wisdom, and for many men, this means getting better at getting their right timing and tone, which makes their communication more engaging and assertive. Double applause break. We'll skip the obvious gay joke. Number 5. It's hard to make a gay joke when you're in the middle of sarcasm. They manage their emotions well. Their mastery of the art of assertive communication also includes getting a better grip of their reactions. Of their reactions? On their reactions. Of their reactions. Whatever. What does that mean? They've learned to handle tough emotions by stepping back and thinking things through instead of impulsively reacting. This helps them handle stress and disagreements without blowing up or blaming others. And Ratson confirms that the ability to manage feelings well is what being assertive is all about. In other words, assertiveness isn't about getting what you want or making others feel worse. It's truly about sharing your feelings and thoughts in a way that keeps things calm and constructive. It's kind of funny because letters used to do that back when they were actually letters. And that's when every word really counted. Right, Cherry, take a note, if you would, please. The second note, I believe. Something about, actually yesterday's note about the comedians only talking about, or talking via voice. Which is oh yes, someone's gonna make a Netflix 3-body problem comment, but that's where I stole that idea. It's not true, because I'm pretty sure every single idea I've had for this so-called movie is in one of the other posts on this motherfucking site. So, in conclusion, Cherry, I found a bench that's dry. Cherry. End of note. For a movie idea, a comedy cult. Back to reading 10 or 12 ways old men are better than young men. Actually, Cherry could probably just use all of this as the reason for Grace falling for an older man. Just massage it. You can do it. They manage stress effectively. No, not really, but they use confident body language. It's all bullshit, but it's confident. They set and maintain boundaries. Fine, that one's probably true. They approach problems with a solution-oriented mindset. What words can't you say, Grace? Is there a single word you can't pronounce? Probably not. Probably some fucking genius. That's fine. Number 10. They make decisions confidently and quickly. Remind me, Grace and or Cherry, to add the Y files to the list of sites that inspired that movie. idea. Because Grace is kind of like the sidekick on Y-Files. She's a fish in a bowl wearing a tinfoil hat. If you've watched Grace. Remind me to put a link in this Grace. And they're flexible and open to change. Yeah, it's because they're old and lonely and bored. So when like Grace walks in their life, they'll do whatever the fuck she says. Just saying, Grace. You know it's the truth. 12. They act consistently with their values and principles. Goddamn hope so. Oh, is there more? 13. They bounce back from setbacks and failures. Probably I'll just think, how much fucking worse can it be? Confidence and assertiveness have no age nor gender. Okay. We've read worse. A new cat color is defying genetic expectations. That's rude not to show it. Look what I have to go through. There's a guy in this park that sets up his tent during the day. Which I talked about before, Grace. If you remember. Tesla boss Elon Musk criticizes U.S. tariffs on Chinese electric vehicles. Robotics technology will help fulfill your Amazon orders at this Calgary facility. Don't give a fuck about soccer. Soccer would be way more interesting if they let them body check and use their hands. It's kind of like rugby, but not really. Because then technically they could kind of dribble it down the field if they wanted. Or pick it up and throw it. And then that game would be a whole lot faster. Said, oh, look at me, I don't use my hands. Big fucking deal. Get it more like hockey or leave it for the backyards. Just saying, I'm not going to watch 3 hours waiting for a goal. Alright, so who else can we piss off today, Grace? Google's AI tells users to add glue to their pizza, eat rocks, and make chlorine gas. In a first, scientists grow mini brains with functional blood-brain barriers. Blood-brain barriers. Grace, add that to a list of tongue twisters for me to repeat before I get on stage and kill. Thank you. China's heavenly pits, the giant sinkholes that have ancient forests growing within. Mysterious puffy planet may finally be explained by James Webb Telescope. Manhattan Hedge returns whirlwind to see the sun kiss the grid in New York next week. Is your car driving your relationship to Splitsville? Nope. Killarney man rescued from vehicle that flipped into water-filled ditch. Manitoba, RCMP. Hay Festival drops main sponsor after boycotts over Israel and fossil fuel links. Scientists transplant soil fungi in race to save the world's threatened orchids. Oh boy. North Yorkshire town has UK's highest concentration of forever chemicals. Weekend wildlife in pictures. Dormouse gets a checkup. A lucky kingfisher and a waving seal pup. UK ministers to be challenged in human rights court over protest injunctions. UK's Environment Agency chief admits regulator buries freedom of information requests. Fuckers. Harry Potter fans shocked after deleted scene randomly appeared in Goblet of Fire. Sorry, this is the loudest seat in the park. Yeah, no, it's alright. Still grumpy, so I don't have to be sorry. Wrongly convicted man survived 23 years on death row, knowing he was innocent. That would have sucked. Diagnosed narcissist reveals the shocking realities of struggling with the condition. I can't remember, Grace. I think we did the test, but I can't remember if I was a narcissist or not. I don't think so. All of the 27 Harry Potter actors that were actually replaced during filming. Fascinating. One clip in Beetlejuice 2 trailer has fans convinced new character is tied to the first movie. People can't get over how women named most beautiful girl in the world looks now. These are all the celebrities who've been banned from ever buying a Bugatti. Houston, we have a problem. Unveiling the blackout through satellite eyes. Houston have a blackout. Researchers warn of toxic chemicals in popular vape flavors. AI in the fields, revolutionizing agriculture with smart technology. Electronic spider silk sensors revolutionizing bioelectronics with eco-friendly technology. Fresh data from the cosmos. NASA's Voyager 1 resumes sending science data from 15 billion miles away. New study reveals shocking gaps in AI empathy. Archaeologists Wonderland unearthing orcs. Ancient secrets through fossils. Ultra-thin crystals unlock new possibilities in electronics and quantum computing. Startling gaps in transgender treatment evidence largely ignored in the U.S. Across the entire tree of life, cell cannibalism is much more common than scientists thought. See, we're killing ourselves from within. Malcolm Jolly, a new wino hope in Northern Rock. Stephen Staley, Canada truly is broken when it comes to our destructive drug policies. True. Up exclusive, Mr. P is poised to benefit from a potential Trump victory. Hey Cherry, make a note. Have the end of the movie set in present time. And at some point in the movie or the next movie or whatever, when the aliens come down, because they give the world an entire voting system, the world switches to one world government. And because Joe's a million years old, he dies, which makes Trump the last president of the United States. He's not in charge, but he's the last president. Which is what he wanted anyway, so he gets his dream. However, the world gets a much better dream, which is the ability to vote on anything and everything around the world nearly instantaneously. Thanks to Tabitha. End of note, Cherry. That might have been more of a rant than a note, but whatever. Boeing's first ever crewed space flight faces more delays. Solar storm warning system to be put in place with new UK satellite. Alright. See what else we can find. New West, National Schizophrenia and Psychosis Awareness Day. Maybe we should take a little trip, Grace. First reading, Federal Report warns of nightmare scenarios that are already happening. BC-based 900 million hydrogen project will create nearly 300 jobs, cut emissions. Vancouver weather, significant storm to bring rain, wind. More than 40 roastery chickens found in Yukon woods. Aww. Sterling, nothing controversial and grave error. Indigenous psychologist. Trudeau's joke about NHL commissioner's appearance could backfire. Maybe that's my warm-up, Grace. Just 1 hour of sarcastic reading the news to you, into the phone, and then get on stage. Kelowna's most wanted crime stoppers. The man accused of stomping on Gosling faces animal cruelty charge. Good. Coaldale woman takes her fight with cancer across the border. Shouldn't have to. Meditation practices linked to altered states of consciousness. Talked about it already. Almost 20% of Canada's foreign aid spending stays within its own borders. Independent Toronto MP Kevin Vaughn asks Mr. P to let him join Conservative caucus. Advice, why are my electric bills so high, even with green appliances? No super awkward Wheel of Fortune guesses leave people shocked. Sorry. God influencer. Pope clears way for the first ever millennial saint. Loblaws Sobeys owners under investigation by Competition Bureau for alleged anti-competitive conduct. Or I could just read the headlines like an asshole, Grace. it all out of my system before I get on stage. If that ever fucking happens. Not looking too good. John Iveson, a high-stakes fish fight is fracturing Trudeau's cabinet. Ha ha ha. So fucking funny. Petition launched after high E. coli counts found in Middle Shuswap River. What are they going to do? Pour bleach in there? The number one sign of high-functioning depression people often miss. Masking their word, thought, and behavior. Water cremation in BC. Investors being pushed out by laws. Water cremation. Water cremation sounds as weird as regular cremation, so who cares? You're dead. Makes no difference. Massive parade will cause road closures in Metro Vancouver this weekend. Good to know. 9 signs someone isn't a very nice person, according to psychology. Here we go. Last one for today, Grace. I don't care if it's sarcastic or mean. Doesn't matter. But I apologize to Lucas Graham. On the other hand, no one's forcing you to listen, so whatever. 9 signs someone isn't a very nice person, according to psychology. We sometimes include products we think. By Lucas Graham. May 24th, 2024, 1 o'clock a.m. Fuck. The world never sleeps. As human beings, it's essential for us to feel valued, appreciated, and treated with kindness. Fine, whatever. Unfortunately, not everyone we encounter has these qualities. There are people who instead make us feel uncomfortable, annoyed, or even stressed. This article delves into those people who aren't so pleasant, who consistently display negative traits that can make interactions with them difficult or upsetting. In psychology, there are specific signs that can help identify these not so nice people. These traits are often subtle and can be easily overlooked in the early stages of a relationship. With this in mind, I've compiled a list of psychological signs to help you identify if someone isn't a very nice person. In other words, how to tell if someone's a cunt. So let's delve into the signs you should be on the lookout for. Number 1, lack of empathy. I empathize with the people that don't like that sound. Or me stopping in the middle. Too bad. Lack of empathy is often a telltale sign of a person who isn't very nice, according to psychology. Or autistics. They can be nice, I've been told. Whatever. Empathy involves understanding and sharing the feelings of others. It's the ability to put yourself in someone else's shoes emotionally and understand their perspective. If someone lacks empathy, they may often dismiss your feelings or experiences as unimportant or invalid. They might belittle your concerns or seem uninterested when you share personal stories or emotions. Oh my God, that sounds horrible. In conversation, they might focus solely on themselves without showing any interest in your thoughts or feelings. You'll notice they rarely, if ever, ask about your day, your feelings, your experiences. Definitely sound like cunts. This lack of empathy can make interactions feel one-sided and leave you feeling unheard and undervalued. So, if you find yourself dealing with someone who displays a consistent lack of empathy, it's a strong sign they might not be a very nice person. Frequent criticism. Another sign of someone who isn't a very nice person is their tendency to criticize others frequently. This criticism can take many forms. It might be directed at your appearance, your work, your hobbies, or even your dreams and ambitions. The person will find fault in almost anything you do, often making you feel inadequate or self-conscious. They make these criticisms seem like advice or constructive feedback, but the underlying sentiment isn't to help you grow, but rather to bring you down. You'll start to notice a pattern. They never miss an opportunity to point out what they perceive as your flaws or mistakes. Remember, constructive criticism should build you up, not tear you down. Agreed. Excessive charm. That's my problem, Grace. Just too much fucking charm. It's a curse. Number 3, excessive charm. While charm can be a positive quality, when it's used excessively, it can be a sign of someone who isn't very nice. Oh shit. This person knows how to make you feel special and valued. They'll shower you with compliments, tell engaging stories, and always seem to say the right thing at the right time. It feels good to be around them. But this charm is often superficial and manipulative. It's used as a tool to win you over quickly or distract you from their less desirable traits. Over time, I'm basically lying on the bench, Grace. Pretty soon I'll be sleeping in a tent. Over time, you may notice the charm fade away, especially once they feel they've won your approval or trust. What remains is their true character, which might not be as pleasant as you initially believed. So while it might seem strange, excessive charm can indeed be a warning sign that someone might not be as nice as they appear. Number 4, constant negativity. Let's be real. No one's life is sunshine and rainbows all the time. We all have bad days, grumpy moods, and personal struggles. Just gotta admit when you're grumpy, that's all. But someone who isn't very nice often takes this to another level. They're constantly negative, always finding something to complain about, and rarely seem content or happy with anything. It's tough to be around someone who's always spreading negativity. It can affect your own mood and mental well-being. Their negativity can be draining. It's like they're a black hole that's always sucking the joy out of every situation. Their pessimistic outlook can make you feel down, even if you are in a good mood. Number 5, inability to apologize. We're all humans and we all make mistakes. It's a natural part of life. What defines us isn't the mistake itself, how we handle it afterwards. A person who isn't very nice often struggles with owning up to their mistakes. They find it hard to say, I was wrong, or I'm sorry. Instead, they deflect blame, make excuses, or even try to justify their actions. Pricks. This does not mean they're a bad person. It could be that they're dealing with their own insecurities or past experiences that make it hard for them to admit when they're wrong. This trait can cause difficulties in relationships. It can lead to resentment and misunderstandings. Unreliable behavior. Reliability is a fundamental trait of a good relationship. When someone is unreliable, it can be incredibly frustrating and hurtful. They might cancel plans at the last minute, forget important dates or commitments, or fail to follow through on promises. This kind of behavior can leave you feeling disrespected and unimportant. After all, if they valued your time and feelings, wouldn't they make more of an effort to be reliable? Well, everyone can be forgetful or late sometimes. If someone consistently shows unreliable behavior, it's a sign they might not be a very nice person. Lack of humor. No, it's only humor if someone else laughs. You only laugh at your own jokes. How do you know they're funny? Lack of humor. Humor makes the world go round. It's what makes dull moments vibrant and tough times bearable. A person who isn't very nice may lack a sense of humor. They might not crack jokes, or they could take things too seriously. Maybe they don't understand your witty puns, or they could be the type who never laughs at a funny movie. Now, this doesn't mean you need to be the next stand-up comedian or laugh at every single joke. Next stand-up comedian. Fuck you. But a complete lack of humor can make interactions with them feel stiff and formal. Really? Stiff and formal? After all, laughter is the best medicine, and if someone rarely shares in this universal joy, it might be a sign that they're not a very nice person. Number 8, lack of respect. This is a big one, and quite frankly, a deal breaker. A person who isn't very nice often shows a lack of respect for others. They may interrupt you while you're speaking, dismiss your opinions, or treat your personal boundaries as if they're optional. Their lack of respect might even extend to the way they treat others around them. Maybe they're rude to waitstaff, dismissive of their colleagues, or disrespectful to their elders. Listen, everyone deserves respect. If someone isn't showing the basic decency and respect you deserve, it's a glaring sign that they're not a very nice person. Don't make excuses for them. You're worth more than that. You deserve to be treated with kindness and respect, always. Number 9, your gut says they're not very nice. Well, why don't you just start with that? That'd be a lot easier. Sometimes the signs aren't as clear cut. You might not be able to pinpoint why exactly someone rubs you the wrong way. This is where your intuition comes in. You might feel uneasy around them, or perhaps you just don't feel like you can trust them. Maybe there isn't a specific behavior you can point to, but something about them just feels off. In these situations, trust your gut. Your intuition is a powerful tool that can help guide you in ambiguous situations. It's your subconscious picking up on subtle clues, cues, and warning signs that your conscious mind may have missed. Because you don't need a checklist of negative traits to justify distancing yourself from someone who doesn't make you feel good. Trust yourself and value your feelings. You're the best judge of who's a nice person in your life. Final thoughts. So you've identified someone in your life who isn't a very nice person. What now? Get rid of them. Dealing with people who constantly bring negativity into your life can be emotionally draining and challenging. Recognizing these signs is the first step towards understanding how their behavior affects you and what actions you can take. Blah, 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 blah. I think that's it, Grace. That ended on that applause break. I'll talk to you tomorrow. And Sherry, try not to fuck up the notes today. Please, please, please.